Come with me as today we journey to Rapa Nui, aka Easter Island, and visit a face in time, or actually quite few. We can see Rapa Nui has a long history, that these faces have sat in this state for a very long time. We'll talk about little unknown viewpoints of these moai statue, as they are called. We'll take a look at the backsides of the moai, the interesting drawings that I found. We're going to take a close look at these. And we're going to take a look at the hands of the Rapa Nui moai. We're going to count some fingers here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're also going to take a look at the eyes of the moai. Each one of these statues is said to have once had an eye, like what you see here. Now, if you haven't seen my previous video on the Rapa Nui moai and other unseen faces, like this one, in the mountain, here you can see the eye, the nose, the mouth, the chin. But look on the backside of this mountain, here's another eye, a nose, and a mouth. I have another video where I go through and I highlight these other faces that are seen around the island. Also, at Rapa Nui, Easter Island, you will find these carved rocks, these intricately carved features, and we can only speculate as to what exactly this is showing. But we definitely see carved into the rocks these faces. Look at this, 2 eyes, a nose, a mouth. This is not a moai statue. This is just a rock carved in the ancient past. We'll also take a look at these hats by the moai. Some of these hats, as I pointed out in my previous video, have carvings on them, and some of them are very smooth. I want to thank you for joining me today. Love and bless to you all. Let's take a look also at what's left in the ground. Look at this enormous Rapa Nui moai. Look at the 2 eyes. Were these features painted in the past? Now we're going to talk about the eyes of the moai. Each one of these had an eye set made of coral. But this one here, we can see the body is gone, but the eyes, these are made of coral. This is one of the best photos I've seen of the original coral eyes of the moai. And somebody in the ancient past went around and destroyed a bunch of these moai, including almost all of the eyes. It's like this moai that we're looking at right now, this statue, there's no mouth. The hands have been removed. The ear is damaged. Hi, horsey. His nose is almost entirely gone, but somebody has gone back and put his eyes in. We thank them for that. But this one, both of these guys, we can see they're missing their eyes. The face on this guy, the nose, even the eyes have been scratched away. The mouth is gone, the arms, completely missing. You can definitely see where somebody tried to paint in the eye on this one behind him. But again, very much a lot of damage at the bottom, the base. I went in and I gave him his eyes back. This one at least I could give his eyes back. This might have been what more of this looked like when it was freshly painted. But you can see here, there used to be a whole bunch of moai standing on this platform where now there are none. Where are the other moai that were standing here? Giving the moai their eyes back. At least in digital form. This moai had a very clear shirt line. I'm not sure what the people of Rapa Nui were doing when they made these statues, but it said that they were replicating the most important people on the island at the time. And that one had a shirt, so thank you for watching. Now, these guys got their eyes back. I detailed a few of the other features of these faces. These appear to be up on the mountain. They're all half buried. And unlike the ones on the coastline, they don't have any damage, it appears at least. These moai all had their noses intact, and their ears also appear to be intact. Where when we get down to the closer to the coast, there's much more damage. We could see the guy, the moai on the right. I could not find his face, his mouth, and the ear on this moai has been damaged. It's been even removed. And clearly he's missing his hat. This one on the right. This moai has some interesting carvings on his belly, but his chin, either he has a little beard or it's been damaged. It's tough to tell. But here in the background we can see all the moai stacked up, looking out. Giving the moai their eyes back. Again, higher on the mountain, less damage. Closer to the coast, they're going to have a lot of damage. Now these moai are planted right by the coast, and I don't know the details, but this stack of moai, even though they're missing their eyes, they almost appear to have been made of a concrete. Perhaps they are replicated. They are newer construction. They're also of a lighter color. If we look at the stone of the pedestal, it's dark in color. Most of the moai dark in color. These moai very light in color. They have a lot of details, like their hands are very crisp and clear. The chest lines, very crisp and clear. It's tough to say. Now this one, out in the middle of nowhere, he has very little damage. He doesn't have a hat. This guy has a lot of damage. His nose has been damaged. His chin. We may have seen this one from a different angle earlier, but he did have a necklace, which I thought was really interesting. There's something around his neck. Tried to look here in the backgrounds of this mountain to see if I could see any other obvious signs of faces, and to me, it wasn't super clear. Also, this photo is from a long distance and not on high enough resolution for me to make any determination. These guys were in the ground and recently unearthed. They appear to be brothers or of the same clan, as they had these interesting features I noted on their nose. Look at this. Super clear, but yet the nose has been missing. It's been damaged. Who damaged this moai? What are these interesting features on their noses? It's tough to say. the face, the nose, the ear, they all appear to have some damage. And I didn't see any other Moai statues with these interesting features on the noses. Look at these, or hats. Look at these hats. These are called, well, here, I'll put the name of them up on the screen. They're the only hats I've seen in the world, other than these, that are very similar to the Moai hat. Did the Moai, the people of Rapa Nui, in real life, were they actually wearing hats that were of this very similar nature to these current hats by this current generation of people? And again, we can see the eyes are missing here very clearly. And this particular stack of Moai, here's some hats out in the wild. What are all of these Moai hats just doing here, strewn about in this field? I don't understand. Can anybody explain this in the comments? Thank you. Here's another stack of Moai hats, just sticking in the earth. There's no sign of Moai. You can see what looks to be, look at this Moai hat. It's got some markings on it. Clearly, somebody's been out here and made some markings on this hat. Here's some more Moai hats. They're out here in the middle of the field. Why are they there? Why do these have these really interesting markings on them? Why do some of them appear to be perfectly smooth? The answer is unclear. Here you can see the markings. Where's the Moai? I went in and I etched these out. I couldn't see any really tangible pattern. I couldn't make anything out specifically here. But that's what they carved in there. What does this mean? What are the Rapa Nui miscellaneous? Now, this Rapa Nui Moai, very different than the rest. I don't know what to say about it. It's sitting out here in the middle of the what does it mean? I don't know, but I thought it looked very similar to what we see at Göbekli Tepe, or is it, I believe it's Karahan Tepe. Look how similar this little guy is in appearance to Karahan Tepe's famous statues, or should be famous statues. The only thing I could think of that resembled what we see here as a Moai in the Rapa Nui Easter Island. Now, take a look at this amazing carving on this red rock. What is that? Let me know what you think in the comments. Look at this one. Unbelievable. I found this, what appears to be a chakra, where I thought the head would be. Look at the hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Look at the chakra here on his head. What is that? Look at the nose. Look at the nose. What kind of creature is this? This is not a man. What is this creature holding? We'll never know. Here's another interesting rock at Rapa Nui Easter Island. Look at this face. We clearly have 2 eyes, a nose, but I don't see the mouth. Look at these amazing sculptures and paintings at Rapa Nui, at Easter Island. What could this possibly mean? What are these interesting creatures? If you have any idea what these are, please let me know in the comments. I've never seen a creature like this with this giant eyeball. Now, friends, we're going to take a look at the backsides of the moai. And I found this interesting drawing that somebody had made in the past. Somebody had made a study of this. And I'm sorry, I don't know who to credit for this, but this is very interesting that they have noted these interesting pot marks. They also have these interesting lines. I mean, these swirl marks. And what appear to be faces. There's also these interesting circles and straps. I don't know what else to call them. They're interesting straps. And we're going to see these straps repeated on additional moai that we're going to take a look at right now. Now these moai, I've highlighted, again, the circles on the back, the straps. I also thought it was very interesting. There was a cross mark. The moai on the right side also has the cross mark. The straps are a little different. Next up, I found this very interesting. This particular carving was recently excavated. And I found a little face here on the right side ear. And above it, potentially the image of a bird. But all of this has been carved out. Like, obviously somebody made the shape of the body, and so every part of this entity has been carved. And here we are. We can take a closer look. What is your interpretation of what you see on the backside of this? Okay, now we can take a look at what I've drawn in here is these, I don't know what they are. I literally have no idea what this is. But they're very interesting. Look at the cross mark. Look at the circles. Look at the straps. What does it mean? Has anybody out there seen an interestingly similar style? Like these golden rings. What does the golden rings mean? Or the rings. I kind of use my own interpretations of what these might be. Could they be symbolizing body cladding, covering of themselves? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Here's the next one. Let's take a look at the back of this. Clearly there's another circle. Clearly we have lines carved into the back side of this moai. This little section here appeared to have been removed from this head. Like there's something was there and now I think it's gone. But down below, I saw this little face here. I saw what looked like a hand potentially. I highlighted it here in green. Clearly the golden circle, similar to the previous moai statue. And the webbing, the straps. I've highlighted those in white. Look at the clear delineation on the back. No, these were master carvers. They didn't put anything on this statue that they didn't want there. Inside the British Museum, they show these two moai statues. These are very detailed. They also have some of the hats of the moai with some detailed carvings. Take a look at these hands. Are these recreations? I noted that the neckline appeared to have a cut. Somebody had cut the head off of this moai statue. What did they find inside? Does this statue on the right also have the same neckline cut? And I'm going to tell you right now, it does. Look at these interesting markings on the moai hat. Where is the missing eye? It's clearly supposed to be there. Now, this is a photo provided by the British Museum on the backside of one of the moai. This is an excellent example of what potentially all of the previous moai statues that we've looked at have had on the backs of their bodies. Look at this interesting beard. This appears to have also been painted in the past, but why is this face here? Who is this face that's on the back of the head of this moai? There's another beard on the left side, or at least it's the same or similar shape. However, I don't see the face on this one. Clearly there's a face on the right side though, look at that. But on the left side there's no face, but the shape of the beard is very similar. Now there's another beard and face on the left ear. Take a look at this one. 2 eyes, a nose, and a mouth. Take a look at the beard. I highlighted it again in orange. What does this mean? Next up, we're going to have to highlight this bird. What an interesting bird this is. Now I did it up in black and white, as it seems to be that there are some birds in the Rapa Nui Easter Island that are black and white. But the details, very interesting. Now, take a look at these beetles. What appeared to me to be a scarab-style beetle. Look at these backsides of these scarab beetles that I found on Google. Take a look at these little shapes, these little triangle shapes. They come in various different shapes and sizes. Some of them have this triangle on the back. Look at all these very interesting, there's many different styles of beetle or scarab beetle. And when we look at the details, here, they are appearing to be very similar. Now I looked up what beetle imagery there is on the Google for Egyptian scarab beetles, to see if the style of these artistic styles were at all similar. Because I know I had seen, beetle imagery in the Egyptian style artworks in the past, and I can't draw any conclusions from this, but I thought it was interesting and I wanted to highlight it here. It's also a very interesting man and a hunchback or something on this upper right side of this ear. Now I found some other interesting imagery underneath the bird. Next up, we're going to take a look at the destruction of the moai statues. Here we can see a moai almost unrecognizable. You can see the broken nose. Even these moai that were buried have seen some savage destruction. The nose clearly broken off of this one. We've seen before, this is the guys that had those things on their faces. But it appears they've all received some vandalism in the past. This guy's missing his nose here. Many of these seeing some damage on the ears, on the chin, on the nose. The one in the middle missing his ear completely. And obviously they're all missing their hats. There would have been hats on all of these moai. You can see damage on the nose of almost every single moai statue. The ears, again, Every single one of them. Now take a look at this. Up here on the right side of this photo, we can see the platform where the Rapa Nui moai were situated. And now we can see they're all laying down here below in the dirt. And probably at some time in the past, we can see people have excavated around the moai statues to get them to be at least standing up again. But probably they were all laying down. This one's even face down. I mean, almost unbelievable. You could see that the moai are all here when they used to be up on these platforms. Now take a look at this platform. Here at the top, there would have been 5 or 7 moai statues sitting looking out, and now we can see them all broken up into smaller pieces, some of them laying face down in the dirt. There's absolutely nothing left of them. This is the same area, a little further back. We can see there was a platform here, but the moai are all gone. Somebody came through with a jackhammer or explosives or something, and they leveled each and every one of these moai statue. What do you think?